What's happening? Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Facts over feelings, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Like the video, subscribe, hit us up on social, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. I got one final video on Hannah Hidalgo as her season came to an end today. Got one final video on her because after this, I'm going to talk about with her. Hannah Hidalgo goes for 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals. Tough day shooting because she was being guarded by everybody. I mean, she got the closest thing I've seen to Caitlin Clark treatment in quite some time, being double teamed off the ball. Did I mention she's 5'6"? Yeah, 5'6", double teamed off the ball. That was one Hannah Hidalgo today. And she had to deal with it. I mean, it was a rough go. And she still had her team in the game. They're down 7 at the half. They're there. They're within striking distance. You knew realistically that they were not going to win that game. Like that was a given. They weren't going to win the game. We all knew it. And realistically, I'm glad the game was close for as long as it was close enough between that 7 to 10 point range, where it was a game. So that was nice to see. But she's largely playing by herself. She doesn't have teammates that are skilled enough. Her other players who are supposed to give her some type of support, they just don't have the ability, man. I mean, I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but they just don't have the ability. This is an ability thing, a skill thing, and they don't have it. They just don't have it. And she tried her best, but they just don't have it, you know. They just want that skill to help her. So, I hope next year she will have some help on this team to give her a chance to, have an opportunity to play in the Final Four. I'd love that for her. I think it'd be pretty dope. And I just want to talk about this real quick. And I know I'm kind of like long-winded right here, but she wasn't a finalist for the Naismith Player of the Year. She was first team All ACC, first team All AC, first team. She was ACC Player of the Year. She was ACC Defensive Player of the Year, back-to-back seasons. She was the first team All American her freshman and sophomore year, and had a better year this year than her first 2 seasons, and yet magically got left off being first team All American by the AP and first team All American by the Athletic. She lost 14 votes, first place votes from last year to this year, despite having better numbers, better statistics, and carrying this team like no one could possibly have envisioned, because talent-wise, they were bereft of talent. They didn't have any. It was her. It was all her. And in credit to Neil Ivey and the coaching job she did with this crew, because it got to be hard when you lose your whole team and you replace them with people that are just not really that good. But hopefully for Hidalgo, her reinforcements will come from the freshman class that they're bringing in. They have the number 9 player in the country, JC B, who's a 5-star recruit out of Texas, 6'2" wing. They've got the number 24 overall recruit, a 4-star, 5'10" guard out of Johnston High School in Iowa. That's Janika Lewis. They have the number 30 player, a 6'2" wing out of Mill Creek High School in Georgia, she's a 4-star, Isabella Ragone. And then they also have the number 37 player, Amari Biles. She's a 6'2" forward out of Kingdom Collegiate Academy in Texas. She's a 4-star. So you have 4 of the top 37 players in the country going to Notre Dame next year. And while that's great, I do have concerns for Hidalgo. I do think that she should consider transferring, but I don't think she will. I don't even think it's in her mind to transfer, to be honest. I don't even think she would consider it. But and she also has number 81 player, Isabella Sangha. She's a 4-star, 6'3", forward out of Pinecrest High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is literally 3 minutes from my house. So she's got 5 top 100 players who are freshmen going to Notre Dame. They're going to have plenty of opportunity to play. They're going to have plenty of opportunity to play. And I got to believe that at least one of those players will be better than whatever she had on her team this year. And I guess that probably multiple players will be better than whatever she had on this team this year. And then if you couple with the transfer portal, which will be exploding in the coming weeks, I think you're gonna see a team that is probably better next season because talent wise they just didn't have it. I mean they just didn't have it. There are names that I'm sure will be coming into the portal soon enough that have not hit. I'm sure in the next few days there's only 4 teams left after tomorrow, so you'll see players start entering the portal probably by this week coming up, or I mean, definitely next weekend, next Monday, next Tuesday, because of course you have, I mean, heck, when UCLA lost last year in the Final Four, they had players that were in the portal within a day or 2. They lost half their entire freshman class, so it's something that hits quick and hits hard. It hits hard. But in the meantime, I want to take a look at something that was said today after Notre Dame played Connecticut. And I think people need to hear it because it's one thing when you praise players before a game, you don't want to, you know, give them that bulletin board material stuff that people talk about all the time. You want to be respectful of your opponent. But when you talk about it after the fact and you mention these things after the fact, it is, in my opinion, pretty significant when it comes from the coach of the team that you're playing. So this is what Geno Auriemma had to say about Hannah Hidalgo to the media after Notre Dame's 70-52 loss to UConn. And Geno had praise for Hannah Hidalgo, and also which leads you to believe that Hannah Hidalgo will also be returning to Notre Dame next season. You knew she wasn't going to turn pro. You knew that she would be, more than likely playing one more season of college basketball. She's going to make a lot of money playing college basketball, so there's no reason for her to turn pro. I mean, 300K would be her salary. Under that, 275. She'll make more than that at Notre Dame or any college around the country. So you might as well stick around. That said, listen to what Geno had to say about Hannah Hidalgo.
You mentioned Hannah, I'm presuming, as one of the best point guards in the country, in your view.
Not one of the best. I think she is the best.
Okay.
You cannot deal with someone that every time you're dribbling the ball, you're more worried about where she is than who you're passing it to. I just love watching her, and I asked her after the game if she was old enough to go pro, and she said, "No, I want one more shot at you guys." So
you mentioned
Listen to this again.
Hannah, I'm presuming, as one of the best point guards in the country, in your view.
not one of the best. I think she is the best.
Okay.
There you go. Geno Auriemma called Hannah Hidalgo the best point guard. He called her the best point guard in the country. That's high praise. Like you could say it 1,000 different ways. He called her the best point guard in the country. I'd argue she's the best guard in the country. He may argue that AZ Fudd's the best guard in the country because it's his player, but I think we all know who the best guard in the country is. It's Hannah Hidalgo. She may not have been named to the first team All-American, AP All-American, or Athletic All-American team, but Hannah Hidalgo averaged 25, 5, and 6. I mean, and 48% shooting from the field, while only shooting 25% from 3. I mean, so think about that. She is well above 50% from 2-point range. And when you're 5'6", you might think that most of her statistics and her scoring will come from the perimeter. It's not the case. That's not the case at all. Hannah Hidalgo literally this year made this year where is it? 35 threes all season. Well, 36 because she made one today. She made 36 threes. She averaged 1 3-pointer per game. She averaged 4 shots per game. She shot 25% from the line. She was 36 of 144 from 3-point range. She shot 53.4%, not including today, from 2-point range. This is a girl who's 5'6", and she's attacking the basket relentlessly. She's an 84% free throw shooter. Attacks. She finishes around the rim. 5'6". Most of her baskets, most of her shots, most of her buckets, most of her points come from inside 15 feet. She is not jacking 35-foot threes. That's what makes her game even more crazy, is that she's doing this shit around the basket amongst the trees. She has an ability to finish shots around the rim that she has no business hitting, quite frankly. And what he's talking about when he says, when you're so worried about what, like, he would give the ball to somebody else because you're almost putting her on somebody who's not going to, you're almost taking the ball out of your ball handler's hand and letting someone else dribble the ball because she's so effective in stripping people. Like, if you notice today, she wasn't on the ball because they weren't taking the ball up the floor with their point guard. They were not taking the ball up the floor with their point guard. They were bringing it up with everybody but their point guard. They didn't want the ball. There was a few times where Kaylee Heckle had the ball and Hannah was on her. But other than that, in the starters, they didn't have the ball that much. I don't remember in KK Arnold's hands. Hannah Hidalgo was never really on the ball because UConn wasn't going to have the primary ball handler taking the ball up the floor. Hannah Hidalgo's ability to jump trap and crash and press, it creates turnovers like this. And Geno knows what he's doing. He's a great coach. He's been around the block. He's not going to put his team in jeopardy like that. So he took the ball out of his primary ball handler's hands, who Hannah wasn't guarding. And he said it. She has an effect so many different ways on that court. And looks like she's going to be back in Notre Dame. And we'll see what happens next year. I mean, UConn's loaded, bro. UConn is abso-freaking-lutely loaded. They still bring back Sarah Strong. They bring back Blanca Quinones. They bring back Kaylee Heckle. They bring back all these players. They bring out a bunch of people that have more recruits coming in. You know, this is UConn Notre Dame is always fun. And I'm happy the game wasn't an absolute rout. But Geno Auriemma just called her the best point guard in the country. And I know what it really is. She's the best guard in the country. She's the best guard in the country. And I mean, it's hard to argue that she's not the best player in the country. So, but hey, that's another conversation for another day. But hey, high praise. Geno Auriemma called Hannah Hidalgo the best point guard in the country. What are y'all thoughts of that? Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, hype the video, hit that hype. Hannah Hidalgo, salute. I'm excited. I can't wait to see you start playing next year, man. But yeah, that's all, man. That's my last Hannah video for this season until we start hearing more stuff on the outside. When we start talking about recruits and transfers coming in, then I'll talk about her again because then I'm like, oh, she's going to have this one, and this one. Maybe we got something. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Probably come on out of the podcast. Come on now.